6 a.m. Wednesday. What's up, y'all? Sorry, it's True Podcast. It's your boy ARP, and we back. We talk about this 6 a.m. crew, the chat, the members, the mods. Who's a part of this movement, man? Who's here with us? Who's building this brick by brick with us, man? Good morning to everybody, man. We in the middle of the work week, man. I hope everybody's on their grind. Hope everybody's doing good. Do y'all see the thumbnail? Do y'all see the title? We got some stuff to talk about today. We're going to kick this off probably with Lil Meech. We covered the Lil Meech situation yesterday. His street reputation is pretty much done forever in many people's eyes, okay? And I'm going to look at today's Lil Meech topic and coverage of his response being a little bit, really, nigga? Like, yeah, he posted a response. We're not going to play the games. We're not going to gloss over it. These subliminals, the way people post on Instagram, their tweets, their follow-ups, their responses, their subs, their little indirects, but they're full all-out responses. I don't want to hear that. What else do we got? You see the title. Troy Ave gets active in shootout during an armed robbery. We're going to talk a little bit about Troy Ave. We're going to talk a little bit about the past, why some people like him, why some people hate him. We're going to take a look at this footage as well. Very, very bugged out situation, man, which could end up deadly for multiple people. So we're going to take a look at that. What else do we got today for us? We got some Kendrick. You see Kendrick in the thumbnail? Kendrick Lamar and the Emmys nominations. I'm going to open up two conversations around Kendrick, man. And I might have some bugged out takes that some of y'all get at me for when we get to the Kendrick topic. We're going to see. We're going to see. What else do I have after Kendrick? I want to go to Diddy. So some new updates when it comes to Diddy heading towards sentencing. We'll talk about that. I got Shaquille O'Neal in the thumbnail as well. Shaq is protected on this channel, man. I don't know about everywhere else, man. I really, really fuck with Shaq, man. No Shaq slander over here, man. But Shaq is getting that RG3. You know, he threatened them. He said, listen, you keep talking. When I see I'm gonna punch you dead in your face. Like, so I want to look into that situation. I'll offer a little bit of my own little take and feedback, especially as it relates to the WNBA. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. I'll touch on it. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to piss off Shaq or anybody else, but I'll touch on it a little bit. What else do we got? I got a to some of y'all a funny one. I won't say what it is towards the end. And then you see Eazy in the thumbnail as well. Yeah, I gotta talk to the Philly ball. Easy's gonna have to come front and center by the time I get towards the end of the stream. Okay. So real quick, let me come over to the chat real quick. Shout out to everybody coming in. The lovely Jay is in the building. Good morning. Our member and our mod, Cap, is here with us. Our member and our mod, Between Rounds TV, our member is here. Jonathan, our member is here. Between Rounds TV is here. These are people that are up 6 o'clock in the morning every day with us, man. So shout out to y'all. Sniper is here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hustle Boy 614 is here. Our member. Bequeeze is here. Our member is here. Big Yellow is always here. And shout out to the general chat as well. Let me pick up some random people. Shout out to the chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Top of the morning, man. Top of the morning. I see y'all. Oh, my bad. Random Blue Jays. Our member is here too. All right, let's get moving. Let's get to this Lil Meech response. Let me pull this up on the screen. And by the way, StreamYard, I really still hate your newest layout, but it's all good. We're going to get through it. I'm going to get used to it. All right. So here goes this Lil Meech response. He posts up on his Instagram. This is 13 hours ago. Lil Meech BMF. Hear no evil, speak no evil. Salt only kills snails, not made men. The real Big Meech BMF. So what? That's at his father. So you got him sitting there, his father. The hear no evil. His father definitely had to go through a whole moment of hearing no evil, right? Because 50 Cent's wave was is very, very strong. And I don't know if we're gonna get this Tammy documentary that 50 Cent has been guaranteeing us and whatnot, but yeah, Big Meech definitely had to put on his thick skin and ignore the wave of criticism and internet trolls that came his way from 50 Cent calling him a rat. Lil Meech, though. Lil Meech is giving us the shh. I kind of right now would rather see Lil Meech with the hands over the ears, just ignoring the internet. For him to continue to do that, I was saying that yesterday. I was like, the thing about Meech is these two situations that's on camera that involves authorities. He's chirping off crazy. He's chirping off wild, but he keeps doing these pictures like this that doesn't line up. All due respect. All due respect. It is so 100% misaligned. I really don't need to be on a small screen for that. It's so misaligned. Quick rehash if you missed yesterday's stream, and quick rehash if you missed some of the video discussions around Little Meech. One was about a year ago or so, the airport one. They found guns in his bag, and he started chirping off crazy. It's not mine. It's not mine. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a minor. I don't know how to go. Blah, 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 blah. They belong to my security guard. Some people say, "Ooh, you just put it on somebody else." Then some people gave him a pass and said, "No, no, no, no. The security guard is supposed to have the guns legally, whatever." So he did the right thing there. You take your pick. I thought the street code and what they teach y'all street niggas and gangsters is regardless of whether you have an out because they belong to the security guard who is licensed and legally able to have that luggage, even though it was in his possession. They tell you all the fucking time at the airport. They even ask you the question, was your luggage ever outside of your own possession, right? So the security guard thing wasn't going to fly. Like maybe that helps reduce you or how the judge looks at you and all that type of stuff. But as far as they're on the spot getting arrested, there's no, it's just you. It's just you. Did you pack your own bags? You're in possession of them. They look at cameras. You're the one walking through the fucking airport with the bag. They're going to grab you at that moment for it, and you're saying somebody else. So it doesn't align. It doesn't fucking align. Then you got the recent one that came out. Him sitting in the back seat of a patrol car under arrest, and the police officer comes back up to the car and says, "There's nothing wrong with the guns that we found. You know, there's nothing illegal about the guns. I think they were in Florida or something, right?" And he goes, "No, I'm talking about the other stuff, the other illegal stuff." And the cop is like confused, like, "What?" "Well, thank you for the info." And his man ends up serving time for him and then comes out publicly and starts dropping audio phone calls of Little Meech apologizing to him for not holding him down and possibly being involved in getting him, convicted, and to get outed by your friend like that, calling you out, saying like, "Nah, Little Meech did me dirty." And for us to see the video of you offering additional information to the police, why would you come on the internet and try to make us believe that you stand on this? You don't. And it's cool that don't make Little Meech. I'm not trying to call him out of his name or nothing, but he does not practice this. Little Meech, on the two times that we have seen him encountered by authorities in the situation where the street code is supposed to be this, he showed us opposite. He showed us how rattled he is. He showed us how scared he is. When you see somebody that's pleading off like that and rambling off and aiming other people and offering information, that is somebody that is very scared in the midst of the process of being arrested. Okay? It's not even about being gangster. It's not even about being street. It's about just holding your composure. And holding your composure also helps you legally down the road because you're offering information on these police officers' body cams. And some of this shit is even an admission to guilt. Some of it is like you're telling the cop on his body cam, no, the other illegal stuff. Huh? So now you can't even have a lawyer fight like small stuff like that. You can't even have a lawyer fight your defense like that doesn't belong to him. He didn't know nothing about those drugs in the car. That's a car rental. Or he just picked that up and then something was already in there. How many lawyers take that defense for the defendants? You can't even do that because you're on body camera telling the cop something he doesn't even know about additional illegal shit that's in the car. Shut the fuck up. It's insane. So it's just with all due respect, man, it's just very weird to see his indirect subliminal response to the internet and this footage or his friend or all of the above to be posting pictures talking about that's kind of ruined for you, you know? And that's fine, man. If you're not built like that when you get approached by the authorities, then that's just not you. And just stay the fuck out of trouble and stay away from illegal activity. You know what I'm saying? And the guns or whatever stuff in your car. That's all. That's all, right? But his post right there is gonna get torn at by a lot of people, and respectfully, deservingly so, because it doesn't align. All right, let's go to Troy Ave. Troy Ave, man. Troy Ave, Troy Ave. All right, let me pull up the the article in this. We'll do a quick read and then we'll take a look at the footage together as well. Troy Ave fends off armed robber in shootout. I got your back, bro. Did he say that in the audio? I didn't hear that. But if he said that, you going kind of Rambo mode a little bit. Rapper Troy Ave is his brother's keeper, and he proved it big time by opening fire on a gunman who ran up on his pal, celeb chef Geoff Cole. The shootout went down in the San Diego area. Home security footage shows Geoff pull up at home in his Bentley. Troy gets out of the passenger side, and both men are walking towards the garage. Would-be robber sneaks down the alley and charges at Geoff. The Brooklyn MC immediately reacted, reaching for his own handgun as a gunman fumbled an apparent weapon, and Troy seized the opportunity to start shooting and chasing the guy back into the alley. It's unclear from the video if any of Troy's shots he squeezed off at least 2 rounds hit the suspect, but Geoff has given him props for saving the day as he put it on IG. Shout out to my brother Av for holding it down in a situation where most would have ran or folded. And this is what the chef guy puts on his Instagram. I came home after celebrating a success of a sold-out Chef Fest with love and support from all over the West Coast. And a hater from the same city tried to take it all away. This is the second time, but it won't be a third. Shout out to my brother Av for holding it down in a situation where most would have ran or folded. I'll never let the hate stop me from showing love. I'm going to keep giving artists opportunities and platforms. I'm going to keep getting money. And the only thing I'm doing different now is taking this show on the road. As far as the guy Geoff saying it won't be a third time, I would say, thank God the 2 people that are innocent in this situation were not harmed, Troy Ave and Geoff, or the chef guy. Thank God they wasn't harmed, right? I don't believe in taking from people. Get out there and just earn, whether you earn a little, a lot, or $1 billion worth of whatever. Right? Go earn. Life is not supposed to just be given to you when it comes to the riches or the successes or material or assets. And burglary to me is one of the lowest forms of lifestyle. Right? Robbery, that's more respected in the streets. Walk up on a nigga and just strong arm or take somebody's shit. It ain't for me. I don't really respect it too much either, but it is a way more respected thing. Burglarizing or burglary to me is just like always a low form of lifestyle, and it kind of disgusts me. So I don't got no sympathy for the man. If he was hit, I don't got no sympathy for him. This is why people defend themselves. This is why people carry firearms. This is why people try to stay on alert, even pulling into their homes, because you out and about minding your own fucking business, having a good time, enjoying life, working, or you could have just been coming. It doesn't even have to be coming home from party. It could be coming home from a hard day's work with his feet fucking bleeding. And here goes this motherfucker trying to run up on you and take from you what you worked hard for. So fuck him. Fuck them. This is why people defend themselves, right? So let's get that clear. Let's get that out the way. Now, another thing for the chef guy saying there won't be a third time. It's fucked up, the world we live in. You're pulling in there with a Bentley. If this happens to be a very luxurious area, a very luxurious home, you got luxurious cars. I want to see those things pulling into a garage. You get a little bit more safety pulling in and out of a garage. Doesn't mean that somebody can't run up on you inside of a garage. You know what I'm saying? But you just can't avoid stuff like this sometimes, man. If somebody wants to try to sneak up on you at your home and get the drop on you, the drop is the drop. I don't care if you're fucking Superman. The drop is the drop, But Troy Ave's reaction here was great. And, oh, my bad. Let me refresh this, and then it's probably going to play an ad now. Let's play this. It's going to play an ad. It's going to play an ad. It's going to play an ad. Troy Ave's reaction. One thing as the ad is loading, I want y'all to pay attention to is, number one, it's not no trained, I'm holding my gun like a police officer. And that's how it happens in the street. People just start shooting. They aim and they squeeze. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, even his initial reaction of looking and seeing what's going on, assessing it, and using the car a little bit for cover. His reaction overall was very, very good and on point. Let me take myself off.
with your real life. With your real life. You're gonna with your real life. With your real life. In this thing. With your real life. Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, I could care less if he got hit. You're running up. You're running up on people, man. You're running up on people. But so that's the video there. That's the footage. And all in all, once again, thank God the chef dude and Troy Ave is safe from that situation. It looked like the guy fumbled his weapon that ran up on him, like he fumbled his gun or something like that. Don't know if he was looking to stick both people up by himself, assuming maybe he was the only gun there. Let me stick. It looked like a very. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a professional thief or robber, so God knows. It just looked like he earned himself the mistake to lose his life for. To be honest, you just running up in there all weird, fumbling your shit, and if the owners or the guests protecting each other and shoot you in your fucking face, you would have deserved it. So shout out to these two guys, man. Let's talk about Troy Ave for a second. Troy Ave used to be the guy. He still is. He's a guy I really, really wanted to root for. His come up in New York, I liked his movement. I liked some of his music, not all of his music. I liked some of his music. I liked some of the way he would talk his shit. You know, he had a thing to him that he's very charismatic, very, very outspoken, which made him entertaining as shit. Right. But he had a way of really portraying himself like, I don't mind being a black sheep. And I've always liked that. And then he had this whole my brother's keeper, ironically, thing about the people around him and trying to help people. And he promoted that a long time. How true it is and where how many people who knows, right? But he always talked about having a lot of people around him, and some of them burned him, some of them didn't deserve it, some of them abandoned him during that shooting in New York, all this type of stuff. And he's a guy I wanted to root for, but he definitely did some things and took some positions that were just it's not easy to stand by. Like let's just call a spade a spade. Now, Pete, um, if we just try to refresh our memories here, this was all the way back in 2016, so many of us forgot some of the details. But the background of the Irving Plaza shooting, shit, I remember even at the time that shit made it tough even for RBE because venues for anything hosting hip hop in New York were very, very hard to rent. So it was tough for battle rap leagues. It was tough for music. It was tough for hip hop artists. It was fucked up. But a shooting broke out during a T.I. concert in Irving Plaza. Troy Ave was shot in both legs. His bodyguard and friend, Ronald Banger, was killed. Rest in peace, Banger. Surveillance footage showed Troy Ave firing a gun inside the venue. He was arrested and charged with attempted murder and gun possession. Now, when we talk about Tax Tone, his op for life. Tax Tone is a podcaster who had an ongoing feud with Troy Ave. He was later arrested and charged in connection with the shooting, including possession of a firearm used in the murder. There was always a talk about who was the one that brought that gun in, right? This is where the snitching stuff comes from when it comes to Troy. In 2023, Troy Ave testified against Tax Tone in court. And Tax Tone is still in jail to this day, people. Still in prison right now, serving a sentence. During the trial, he described the confrontation at Irving Plaza and identified Tax Tone as the person who shot at him and killed his friend. Okay. Troy Ave portrayed his testimony as self-defense and pursuit of justice for his friend's death. So the reason why people is calling him a snitch. In hip hop culture, snitching typically means cooperating with the police or testifying in court, especially when you're part of the street life or claim to follow a no snitching code. How about that, you gangster? I ain't talking to Troy. Troy Ave had previously rapped about street codes and not cooperating with law enforcement. His testimony in court was seen by some as violating those codes, leading to accusations of him being a snitch. Troy Ave's defense. He argues that it's not snitching if you're defending yourself. That's not true. He also said that he was the victim and that testifying was about justice for his friend. Rest in peace. I'll leave that there. He's since released music like the track Dear Hater, You Lost, embracing the controversy and even mocking the snitch label. Troy Ave, even from the two shootings that's on camera, he keeps it way more solid and way more gangster than a high percentage of you gangsters. Right? This situation right here on camera didn't fold on his friend, didn't fold on himself. Got active, he protected himself, and he didn't even look that scary. Like, ah! You know what I'm saying? After he assessed and he from the first one, and then he ran towards like, okay, he's fast. I'm now on offense. Right? Even this situation in the club, which is on camera. And he has some respected moments and decisions and reactions, and it's really just the thing with Taxstone and the testifying and then the mocking after. I get it. Those two guys hate each other dearly. But, while they were both going back and forth to court and this whole trial was being flushed out, Troy was just saying and doing a lot of things, man. Like, and I'm not trying to say that it was ever going to be escapable of him taking the stand and saying Taxstone's name, right? But they just had such a fucking disgusting relationship and they just so much hatred towards each other. I'm not justifying Troy Ave's actions. I just believe that was part of it. I just believe him and Taxstone's hatred was so high towards each other. He was like, fuck him. My thing is just about winning the situation. My bread and eat it too. I got out of that situation. I'm not the one that brought the gun in, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I made it out of there. I did what I did. I handled what I need to handle. I lost one of my friends. I feel like you're the hater that's always been trolling me online. And now I'm supposed to lose my freedom too. I think that's what shifted him. And then actually, it's not a think. We know that's what shifted him because that's when he started his whole movement. The streets is a myth, right? His whole campaign about why am I upholding these codes and none of y'all are upholding the codes and they all designed just to bring us down, even when we should be winning. But his trolling and his talking and his bragging and his, and then he did interviews even that pissed a lot of people off. I remember Banger's brother doing interviews because it's like there was issues going back and forth with Troy Ave and the family talking about funeral costs and is a life lost. Once again, rest in peace, Banger. There's a life that was lost. So all the badgering back and forth in the interviews when he went up to the Breakfast Club and he's got the bulletproof vest on, and then the other shooting we used to talk about, he escaped a shooting when he was in his car and he had to put the car in gear and he hit the gas a certain way to make the exhaust explode to scare the guy. It just sound like, he's so charismatic and he talks so much that's a lot of what buried his reputation and how much people like him. I think if that footage would have came out of Irving Plaza and the shooting and he was Lil Meech and there was no music, there was no this, that he just went to court, even if he probably would have still testified and said, look, man, I'm not the one that brought it in. Well, who are you tussling with? Taxstone. Streets would have said that's snitching, right? And I know the people that want their cake and eat it too, which are the weirdest gangsters in the world, they try to create gray area. I think one of the most clear-cut examples of not going that route and sticking to all the codes that you gangsters claim is Shine. Is fucking Shine. Shine stood in front of his attackers or the people, his ops. Shots went off or whatever, and when he went to court, he wouldn't answer none of those questions. He didn't say, yeah, I was tussling with Taxstone or I have beef with Taxstone Pride, because all that type of stuff establishes motive of why these guys got into it. What was the history before? Shine didn't give up none of that. And he went and served his time. Right. So that's black and white. Everything else is gray. And the moment you create gray, you create telling. Period. You can't have your cake and eat it too if you's a gangster, if you's a street nigga, So, once again, Troy Ave is a guy that I wanted to root for. And, what he did in that situation just, it doesn't align with what he was preaching. And when you watch somebody preach something and say that they live by something and then break it, you have to look at them sideways. You have to be like, damn. And I'm not trying to say you can't make a mistake. I make mistakes. If I tell you right now, I never date this type of woman, and you see me walking down the street with her, don't say like ARP has zero integrity. Like, it's not. I'm talking about serious shit. Serious shit, like somebody lost their life. This is your whole persona, your whole push. Everything about you is this, and then you went opposite from it. Nah, people's gonna look at you different. But all in all, in this particular situation, I think that shows some of who Troy Ave is at core, and it's still built stronger than a lot of you niggas. To keep it 1,000. All right. So that's the Troy Ave situation. Let's move over to Kendrick. Kendrick and these Emmy nominations. Now, I told you I got a couple topics that I want to spin off of this. So let's take a look. What do we got going on with Kendrick's Emmy nominations? We see today the Emmys announced their nominations for this year's show. And among them, Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance at the Super Bowl was nominated 4 times. The award categories are Outstanding Variety Special Live, Outstanding Directing from a Variety Special, Outstanding Music Direction, Choreographed Variety Reality. Now, before everybody starts jumping straight to Not Like Us, which is one of the biggest songs in hip hop history and one of the pinnacles of his career. Not Like Us. It's numbers wise, charting wise, accolades wise, and all that. Before we do all that, let's take a step back and remember how much went into that Super Bowl. I think there was a number of thousands of people involved in the set creation and running and delivering of that show, that little 10, 15, whatever minute show. There's thousands of people that went into it. And if you watch, especially from the outside, if there's any views that you see from not like the actual produced Super Bowl show, but like people's cell phone footage and whatnot, you see thousands of people running off and on the field, carrying the lights, switching the stages, move this over here, do that, the dancing. People was at one point giving Kendrick credit for running all around and walking a whole football field worth of this while he's rapping and maintaining his breath control and delivering lyrics and performing still and dancing and all that. There's so much that went into this show. So before the over Drake stands of the world just say Not Like Us or Drake beef, right? I shall remain consistent. I was somebody that was offended, if you guys remember those streams. I was offended at people that watched the halftime show and said all this is about Drake. I was offended because the whole overtone and message of America's oppression, the whole thing with Uncle Sam, played by Samuel L. Jackson, the game to be played, the way Samuel L. Jackson represented Uncle Sam was trying to dumb him down at times and say, don't do this, do that instead. You have to show this, you have to show corporate America that. And the way that whole theme was baked into the show, the American flag dancers and everything. As a black man, if somebody walks up to you and says the only thing that show represents is a Drake diss, you should feel away because he's attacking. He used an opportunity to go left as well. Like the Drake thing is always going to be there. Of course, we want to see if he's going to do Not Like Us. Yes, we know that, right? That was, but me included, that was us being shallow. That was being shallow because when he got there and he used the opportunity to expand on a black American's plight, that to me is very important because he did it at the halftime show. And all those people that sat there on TV or in the building and they didn't understand, that's cool. This is some of America's problem. The not understanding of the injustices, the differences, the biases, the blocks between our cultures, our nationalities, our races, still to this day. And Kendrick did that on the biggest stage of the year. So before we get shallow and our minds go, oh, not like us and Drake beef, remember what that show did and what it meant. Okay. So thank God for these nominations. Now, let me get off that and get to the petty side. All right. We're done with the substance. You knew there was going to be a catch coming, right? I got you. All right. Now let's get to the petty side. I pulled up a list of many, not all, of Kendrick's accolades and some of the records that he's broken ever since the battle. Incredible shit. All right. So streaming and online records. First rapper ever to surpass 90 million monthly Spotify listeners. That was landing in February 2025. Later crossing 100 million, setting the all-time record among rappers. 100 million plus monthly listeners, a milestone no other rapper has achieved. Billboard chart records. Not Like Us debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 May 18, 2024. A career first for a solo debut, first rap song to debut number 1 with the shortened 5-day tracking week. Longest running solo chart topper in his career. Returned to number 1 multiple times, including after Super Bowl 2025, becoming the first non-holiday song to return to number 1 3 separate times with months in between. Like, how do you lose, cool off, and other things happen, other songs, other albums release, and this shit has the nerve to jump back to number 1? Now we know how, like certain promotions, if your album drops, if you go on tour, like these are things that make people revisit some of the stuff that you had going on maybe months ago, but it's not easy to do. Wow. Obviously, he set the record for it. Became the longest charting rap song on Billboard Hot 100 history, spending 53 consecutive weeks on the chart. Broke records on hot rap songs number 1 for 26 weeks and hot R&B hip hop songs. Luther featuring SZA set a new all-time record with 23 weeks at number 1. This is all stuff that got performed at the halftime show, right? Number 1 on hot R&B hip hop songs and hot rap songs, surpassing Drake's previous runs. Amassed 13 straight weeks on number 1 on the Hot 100, making it his and SZA's longest running number 1 single. Holds a record of 27 weeks at number 1 on Billboard Hot Pop Songs, overtaking Kendrick's own Not Like Us. Luther is a smash, a historic smash as well. Debuted at number 3, later topped 100 March 1st, 2025. All right, so that's Not Like Us, and that's Luther. Now let's talk about the album GNX that debuted November 2024. Debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200, marking his 5th consecutive number 1 album. All 12 tracks from GNX debuted on the Hot 100, sweeping the entire top 5. Squabble Up, number 1. Other tracks, number 2 through 5. Tying Drake, Taylor Swift, and the Beatles. Fucking Beatles. GNX recorded the biggest streaming week for hip hop and R&B album in 2024 and the 3rd biggest overall. Wow. Became the first rapper to have 3 albums simultaneously in the Billboard 200 top 10. GNX's Damn, Good Kid, Mad City. After the Super Bowl in 2025. Yeah, Super Bowl was definitely a calculated move, man. It is. Every artist wants to do the Super Bowl. And you're like, if I can produce 10% of what Kendrick produced after appearing on the Super Bowl, I need that in my life. 5%. If you do the numbers, maybe 1%. Real shit. Hot rap albums. GNX became his 6th number 1 album on the chart. All right. So that's GNX. That's Luther. That's Not Like Us. Let's talk about the live performances and tours. Performed Not Like Us at the Super Bowl halftime show, February 2025, the first solo hip hop artist to headline the halftime show. America's sport, right? His Grand National tour with SZA from April 2025. I'm sorry, from April to December 2025. Yeah, Seattle show grossed 14.8 million, a record for hip hop concerts. The Dallas show grossed 11.8 million, making him the highest grossing black male artist in a single performance. The tour amassed 256 million gross from 1.1 million tickets, becoming the highest grossing co-headlining tour ever. Yo, we're not done. All right, let's go to awards and certifications. Not Like Us swept all 5 Grammy nominations, making it the most honored track in Grammy history. Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, Best Rap Song, Best Music Video. Cumulative streams pushed it towards RIAA Diamond status, 10 million plus units sold by July 2025. Yo, people, let's do 2 takes off of that, 2 topics off of that. The first one, I'm gonna say fuck it. Let me go left. When you read a list like that, and there's more, that's just like a summary. You know, there's a lot of like little accolades and small little awards and stuff that wasn't mentioned in there. You almost, for me, you almost say there's no way you can do this without there being a supreme coordinated effort. like like when you summarize it and you look at it all at the same time, it's not like, all right, GNX debuts #1, and then we take that, and then a month later, oh, he sweeps the Grammys. All right, cool. Shout out to him, he's killing. And then we find out these tour numbers, like, oh, he broke the record, 14.8 million. Huh, that's crazy, right? When you look at it all at the same time, and be like, oh shit, UMG might have spent a couple $1 billion to do that. I mean, let's be real. You can't do this type of shit without help, right? It's just a type of help, right? You gotta have help. You gotta have promotion. You gotta have marketing. You gotta have multiple teams, and the PG Langs and the Dave Freeze and the Lucian Granges and the Jay-Z's. And real talk, you gotta have all this aligning with you. And when you're a power, everybody that has been into power has shit behind them. You could be the president, you got the Secretary of Defense, you got all this behind you, right? You could be the owner of, you could be Jay-Z, you got all these people behind you. That's how it goes. It's the type of help, right? Drake is over there versus UMG's lawsuit saying the type of help was wrong, right? Because when you look at the summary of Kendrick, and then we also look at the Mike Jack of this modern era, which is Drake, number wise, there's no way either one of them get to where I don't give a fuck how much talent you have. There's no way you get to be either one of them without these factors also enforcing and helping and pushing and adding and navigating and making decisions and placement. Like even Jay-Z saying, sorry, Wayne, and sorry, this person, Kendrick halftime show. All of this stuff lines up to create this. Now, you don't take nothing from Kendrick though, because when you look at shit like the Seattle show, 14.8 million setting the record. You know, I don't give a fuck how good UMG is, how much money they spend. You're not making that many people in Seattle go into their pocket, you know, and decide to spend their money like that. No. To get people to spend that type of money, the coordinated effort that also involves the artistry that makes the fans want to be a part of it has to be key, right? It's not coincidence that I chose the Chiefs versus the Eagles to be my first Super Bowl to attend ever. I could have went to a million Super Bowls, right? It's not coincidence. The moment, even artistically, that Kendrick created, that was a big. I told my friends going in all the time, I said, people, we need to go. I don't care where, we need to go. Not only do we get a chance to see the Super Bowl, right? Which we watch every year anyway, right? Whether we're at a bar, a restaurant, at home, it's the Super Bowl, right? So that's number one. Number two, um, I'm not a big super. I'm not out here being an Eagles guy or a Chiefs guy, but I love history and I do love those where you when it happened moments. And it is an opportunity to possibly see a three-peat for the first time in Super Bowl history with Patrick Mahomes, right? So I wanted to see that. And then you got this major, one of the biggest hip hop moments of all time. Me being a hip hop head, I want to see this halftime show. That was major for me, right? So there's UMG, indirectly, I guess you could say, but those songs and me showing up to the halftime show, wanting to see if I can hear fucking Meet the Grams and all this type of shit. That's Kendrick and his team, and that's the battle, and that's the artistry of it. When I played those songs, I was taken over by the artistry of those moments that was getting created. If these were whack songs and all this, and a whack battle turned out, and he dropped the ball when he went, UMG is not going into the studio and writing that shit. I still say to this day, Meet the Grams is one of the deadliest diss tracks to come out of hip hop history. It didn't take off. It ain't one that you could play on the clubs. In the clubs, it ain't for the radio like that. I think that's one of the most scathing diss tracks I've ever heard in my life. Ever. Meet the Grams. And that moments like that didn't even take off numbers wise still had me trapped in what Kendrick was doing. If you feed me a Meet the Grams, I'm here for everything, because that moment alone is trapping me for like months. Like, is he going to do another one of those? Is he going to say that? Is that going to be true? You get trapped by it. And that's what Kendrick did. You can't take no credit from Kendrick and his immediate team, but there's a lot that comes in as well. All right, now here's the second take and the second topic coming off of these numbers and these accolades that we just read. The GOAT status. The legendary GOAT conversation. Let's have a little bit of it. And if it's not already happening enough, let's add to it right now, okay? I see somebody put in the chat, Nikki and Cart. Okay, because I know Nikki got some shit going on. I'm skipping that today. We cool. Let's talk a little bit about this GOAT status and ranking, right? I'm a guy outside of like basketball. And there's a lot of arenas that I like to establish multiple goats. In battle rap, I think there's multiple goats, right? In football, there's multiple goats, right? To me personally. I don't like to not see Barry Sanders in a GOAT conversation. He doesn't even have a championship, right? I don't like to see my favorite player AI outside of it, but in the NBA, I go with one person, MJ, right? But I have no argument and no problem with people that put LeBron or even some other people in that GOAT argument as well. I'm cool with it, right? In hip hop, it's never going to be able to just be one, right? There's too many preferences about even how to define it. Some people like to use some of the elements of the first, and then people go to people like Rakim, early people like that. People like to have the numbers argument, which is always an argument that's important. And then you start talking about like the Jay-Z's of the world. People like just pure mastery of the art form, and then people go towards like the Nas's of the world. Lyrical dominance and numbers. You start looking at the Eminems of the world. Influence, impact. People like Kanye could come into the conversation. All of the above. Kendrick Lamar, like and if he's not in the GOAT conversation enough, it needs to happen more. The bodies of work is something that needs to be on your resume if you're in the GOAT conversation. Kendrick checks the box. How about a classic album? At least one. Do you have a Reasonable Doubt? Do you have a Blueprint? Do you have a It Was Written? Do you have a Illmatic? Do you have a ATL Aliens? Do you have a a Life After Death? Like do you have a Machiavelli? Like, do you have one classic hip hop pinnacle that is stamped in hip hop? Kendrick does. Good Kid, Mad City. He does. And some people are even in time, people might add GNX. 5, 10 years from now, people might say a classic hip hop moment and pinnacle is GNX. They might do that, right? I think it's too early, but Eminem, do you have a Slim Shady LP? Groundbreaking. Do you have a Get Rich or Die Trying? Right? Kendrick checks those boxes so far. The awards, being recognized publicly, he's been doing that even before the battle, right? Pulitzer prizes and all this type of shit, right? He's been doing that. um, Artistry, which is normally the most important to us. There's no talking about his artistry. There's if you don't fuck with Kendrick's artistry, it's a personal preference thing. Like if I hear somebody say, I don't like his voice changes at times, that's a personal thing. But the God-given talent that man has to put pen to paper and to formulate his thoughts and be creative and build these pictures for us in an artistic manner, it's God tier level, okay? And then when we get into numbers, spinning off of the topic, when we start talking about numbers, it's that. And I think the numbers thing is always so important because that's even how like a Jay-Z separates from a Nas. Now Nas is $100 million up and has all types of numbers-based accolades and awards or whatever. But there's a big gap between Nas and Jay-Z, numbers-wise. Big gap. And not just money, just all these different pockets. It is a big gap. Okay. Kendrick having these type of numbers that he has and awards and sweeping the Grammys and perform here, #1 halftime show and all this type of stuff, it enforces the artistry and the album and the longevity and the influence and all the things that make up these God tier and these GOAT caliber people. The numbers really enforces it all, and you just can't escape it. You can't escape it. And this run that Kendrick is on right now, I don't think any of us looked at it and anticipated it would still be a year out removed from the battle, right? This is so monumental navigation and decision making and placement and everything. It's monumental, and I'm proud to actually watch him unfold it because the amount of money he's generating, the amount of eyes on hip hop, the amount of it's just a beautiful thing. And you have to be a hater or a super Drake fan to look at it from an angle that discredits it, right? So I say all that to say, if Kendrick, who I am done sleeping on when it comes to navigation, if he now extends this continued run out for another year, another 2 years, right? He definitely will start getting compared to the people that were doing it before him, at that level. I think that's when people are going to start comparing him more to Eminem and more to Jay-Z and the likes of that nature. And this is where you'll see the Kanye's 2 years from now continue to find ways to hate on Kendrick. I should have been on that Cardi album and shit like that. Like, fuck, he's passed me, clearly. And this is what Drake asked for. He said, I'm looking to see who's going to be one of them niggas at the turn of the millennium, right? And shit, I study rap battles for a living. It's that. And even if he doesn't maintain the level of momentum that he's on right now, even if it's cut in half by the time we're at 2027, right? Even if it's cut in half, that is still a lot of dominance. That's still a lot of work. That's still a lot of touring, a lot of shows, a lot of music, a lot of numbers. He just needs another 2 years of relevance, damn near, and it's a Michael Jackson type of run. It feels like it just feels crazy. I'm not saying Michael Jackson numbers, but it's incredible. I'm gonna leave it like this. When I be saying his shit should be studied years later, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I want to know the details of how they put all this together, from the business to the label to PG Lang to the rollouts to the decisions. Where do we tour? What cities? What the order of things? The album layouts. And I want to know more about this because this type of stuff doesn't happen this long, this impactful, these type of numbers, these type of accolades on accident. This is mastery. It's incredible shit. All right. Let's move to our next topic, people. Let's go to Diddy. You see Diddy in the thumbnail, right? Now see Diddy in the thumbnail. What's this one? All right, let me go to this stream y'all layout is so annoying now. All right, Diddy enrolls in drug and violence prevention programs ahead of sentencing. Sources tell TMZ he's currently enrolled in several self-improvement programs, including the STOP program, a federal course that focuses on preventing sexual assault, domestic violence, and dating abuse. He's also undergoing therapy and participating in the Dr. Harry K. Wexler drug abuse program. According to sources, Diddy began drug treatment even before his arrest and has kept it going while in lockup. One insider described his efforts as part of a personal path to redemption. Now, number one, well, it's actually three things. One, I'll say you'd like to hope that there is true personal motivations towards cleaning yourself up, straightening yourself out, cleaning yourself up away from drugs, and understanding like I can't just beat the shit out of every woman or force them into freak offs allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd like to believe that that's some of his motivation. Two, you see it says Road to Redemption. Diddy as a name, even though his brand is fucked forever, right? There's just certain endorsement deals and TV spots and opportunities that I just think that is removed for him for the rest of his life, right? Especially because of that video. But it's still a big name. Shit, somebody still wants to give you a couple $1,000,000 just to write an OJ book, right? Somebody's eventually is going to want to do a documentary, right? The trial, your life, you and Cat. His name is still going to be tied to possibly billions of dollars to come, and I don't mean him earning it himself. Even people that make money off of him, right? His name will still be tied to billions of dollars to come. Okay. And things like this also push that because the brand needs to justify being out there in front of consumers. So there's a business element here. There's a personal element, we hope. There's a business element that's logical. And last but not least, the third element, his sentencing. Okay. Now, you want the judge, of course, to see when it comes down to, was it September 13th or something like that? When you walk in there and it's time to get sentenced, do you want to look like it's beat you niggas, fuck you niggas, you bitch ass niggas, fuck Cassie, fuck Jane, y'all can all eat a dick? Or do you want to walk in there and have this outlook of still being humble, realizing your rights and wrongs? I made some mistakes. Not all the mistakes y'all niggas charged me for, but I made some mistakes and I'm owning up to some of them. Shit, y'all saw the video. Yes, I'm owning up to that. That was our opening statements in court. I'm opening up to that shit, and I'm taking counseling for that. I'm helping myself as far as why I did some of that shit. I was high, nigga. I was drunk. And even that, I'm cleaning up and taking programs. I learned that I don't need that type of stuff to survive. I don't need to be high to escape the pitfalls of this type of celebrity that I carry and responsibility I carry. You know, I feel like the lawyer's gonna even say some of this shit, right? I'm saying it right now, and that's how it goes. So I'm not shocked when I saw this, but Pete, he's still fighting people right now. The verdict already came down, but he's fighting for the amount of time he's to receive. So I pulled up experts' opinions of what he might get slapped with at sentencing. So it says expert estimates on prison time, U.S. sentencing guidelines. So we know what he's facing. What was it? The trafficking for the transportation during prostitution, right? 2 of those, the Mann Act, both of which carry 10 each, right? But the expectation from experts is 15 to 21 months under federal guidelines for first-time offenders convicted of 2 counts under the Mann Act. As noted by former prosecutor Michelle Epner, with roughly 10 months already served, this can translate to immediate release or just a few additional months behind bars. So imagine that. Imagine he goes to sentencing and they say, that's it. You're done. Have a good day. Maybe probation. Go check in with your PO. Everyone, you know what I'm saying? Or if they say, time served by the time you get sentenced in, it's 12 months in, a year in, whatever, and this is pretty much what we want to give you, 12 to whatever, blah, blah. You know what? Go back, sit down for another 3 months, and we're done. What? All he gets is a year. Yeah, 50. It's very, very possible. Prosecutors advocate for 4 to 5 year sentence, 50, which translates to 51 to 63 months, citing coercion and physical abuse in sentencing memos. Now, the physical abuse, once again, that's not his charges, but it's the judge's discretion. You get up there, you paint a picture of he's still a menace to society. He needs more time to recoup or to resuscitate the type of person that he needs to be. And let's not forget that video. And that's the prosecution's job. And that's what the defense has to expect when they get to sentencing. But the defense maintains that time served, 10 months, should be enough, painting it as an ample punishment under the Mann Act convictions. Independent legal analysis, O.J. Simpson's former lawyer, Robert Shapiro, predicts 2.5 to 3.5 years, considering bail denial as suggestive of a tougher sentence. Well, the bail denial they're looking at, he's counting that as saying, well, if they were trying to take a light on him, they would have gave him that bail right after his conviction and his verdict came down. I'm not an expert, of course. I want to take one of OJ's lawyers' word over mine, but I also feel like just watching that and seeing how it played out and the judge's reaction, I think some of that almost was interpreted of the judge saying, I can't do too much now. Like, come on, you're going to have me up here looking like I'm really catering to this fucking celebrity. But he heard it out. The fact that he said, well, you guys go put it together and we'll talk when we get back here at 1 p.m. He heard it out, So, I mean, that news to me isn't shocking of Diddy, doing the programs or whatever. But we hope that those 3 reasons, or we think that those 3 reasons are the reasons why he'd be taking that program. And the first one should be the most important to him and his family, right? But the other 2 is for the aftermath, the what is to come. All right. Pull up the homie Shaq. You pull up the homie Shaq getting active with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shaq ain't playing them type games with y'all, man. I don't care how old Shaq is. I don't care if he's got the grays coming into the beard. And if you see Shaq walks like his height and his carrying around all that. You know how they say big men in the NBA that have shortened careers, like a Yao Ming and all that, is your joints, your knees, your ankles, your feet, carrying the Joel Embiids of the world and all that, And yeah, you see Shaq walking around. Shaq walks like he's too big for his own body. Like, it's like, yeah, these hips now at this point, man, like, I'm old. I still believe Shaq will punch you dead in your fucking face. I do. Charles Barkley still needs to be on the watch out, and so does RG3.
Oh, speaking of man, RG3, tweet another monkey post about my girl Angel Reese. I'm punching your fucking face. Okay? It's enough. Like, I don't usually do stuff like this, but just stop it, bro. You got your job, you got your podcast, leave my Angel Reese alone. I'm the one calling her and telling her not to respond. Fucking stop it. That's the last time. Okay? Thank you. It's not real hate. If you look around what's going on in this real country, that's hate. This is sports. I'm not supposed to like you. It's a shame that all the stuff you did in your life, you're going to be remembered for your podcast. You're going to be remembered for your podcast. That should tell you you're not that fucking great. I don't want to be remembered for Shaq's Bit podcast. I do not. Like, leave those girls alone. You already spoke on it. Let it go. So what? He hates her. So fucking what? I hate you now for messing with her. Now what? Say something about me. But she's not going to respond because I'm the one calling her and be like, baby, keep it classy. Because she's not soft. Oh, speaking of man, RG3, tweet soft by any means. You're from the streets. But I'm like, you're beautiful. Don't indulge with these fools because he's a fool. You don't even have G14 classification to say that. I would respect it more if Lisa Leslie said it. Like, that's your category. Stay out of them people's category. Okay, you're sports, whatever you do, you talk about sports, but bro, you don't need to be going deep. Y'all can go deep. Y'all are females. Y'all understand what that's like. If he hates her, so what? Mind your business. Like, I don't mind you doing your job with anyone, but don't pick on that little girl. Because guess what? I'm her protector. Now pick on me. You pick on me, I'm going to punch you in your fucking face. Soft by any means. You're from the streets. But I'm like, you're beautiful.
Yo, one of our kings has spoken, B. Yo, RG3, man. Yo, listen to Shaq, B. Chill out. And I'm not even talking about from the physical threat standpoint. It just feels like, yo, one of the gods have spoken, B. Like, shut up. Like, just chill out. All right, man. So the monkey thing is something that I didn't catch. I don't know if RG3 is on record calling Angel Reese a monkey or something like that. All right, let's go back. What I'm pretty sure a lot of this is involved in is the hatred between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Like, they're rivals, they're basketball rivals, right? And I'll be real, Caitlin Clark is to me 10 times better than Angel Reese, right? I don't watch too much WNBA. Um, I ain't gonna get into the reasons why. I would say that for another conversation, right? But I've watched a ton of Angel Reese and I've watched a ton of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, you know, she's touted as like the female Steph Curry that did a 3-point shootout with him and shit. She's a sniper from long range. Even her ball handling, her coordination, obviously her shooting, it appears to all be ahead of Angel Reese. Angel Reese, for me, as as a female basketball player, Angel Reese is a good player. You know, I ain't gonna OD. I think she's cool, but we just see a lot of the lacking of the coordination, and that's sometimes a lot of female basketball players. Let's keep it real. Angel Reese also though got a big jump in the public. Just it's like a branding thing that she got going on. That's dope. You know, the marketing, the branding, the podcasting, the being outside, the modeling, and all this type of stuff. So shout out to Angel Reese. But when we just talk about now those two and the hatred that they developed amongst each other, the rivalry that they developed amongst each other, sports analysts are going to chime in. RG3, if he's going to chime in from a sports analyst standpoint, if he's keeping it just about their rivalry and who's better or whatever, then Shaq would have to fall back, because that's kind of like what I'm doing right now, right? But if you start bringing into the equation the racial tones that I think has been created between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and that is very unfortunate, just because you have a black female basketball player and a white female basketball player, and they have a rivalry for whatever reason that started from whatever, right? Turning it into a black and white thing is corny for any of us to do. Any of us. So if RG3 on his podcast, which I'm not saying because I didn't see him say that, but if he's riding that piece of it to create talk points of like the racial side of it, that would be corny, right? Especially if you're targeting Angel Reese while doing so. Now, to RG3's defense, which I'm not sure of, if Angel Reese has played on a cultural narrative in Caitlin Clark's direction, that would be corny for her to do too. So let me take a look at some of these RG3 responses, because I want to try to be fair. You still got to fall back though, homie, because like I said, one of the gods has spoken, B. What is this? Bernice King and Angel Reese call out Robert Griffin 3 or RG3 after making insensitive posts about the WNBA star. How insensitive was it though? All right. This has got to stop. This is from RG3. There's no place for racism in this world. Agreed. Whether you like a player or not, Angel Reese should never be called or depicted as a monkey. Agreed. I have been quiet on the Angel Reese front because she shared a video that aided in my wife, kids, family, and friends receiving death threats, threats of physical harm to my family and friends, and threats of sexual violence to my children on social media and beyond. So RG3 and Angel Reese got some shit going on, and the fan bases are chiming in, and it results in shit like this. That will never be okay with me. I never attacked her or her family when I stated and backed up with clear basketball evidence that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It's sports. Everybody won't like each other. That's true, Shaq. That's true. Gotta be fair. People in Angel Reese's, I'm sorry, in Angel's inner circle called me and told me I was right. And Angel Reese has grown to hate Caitlin Clark because of the media always asking her about Caitlin and being constantly compared to her. Mm-hmm. Some people made it about race, but I never did and never will. Instead of becoming the villain in anyone's story, I decided to just not. All that being said, Angel Reese or any black man or woman should never be called depicted as a monkey ever. Stop it. If you hate Angel Reese because she's black, you are the problem. If you hate Angel Reese because you are a Caitlin Clark fan, don't turn it racial. There should be no space for racism in this world. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't need to read the rest. Very good. Here goes Bernice King agreeing with him. I agree. That's why I suggest you call Angel Reese and stop posting about her. All right, so it probably just spun out of control on social media between RG3 and Angel Reese defending themselves in each other's direction. It snowballs. The fans jump in. People start getting called monkeys, and families start getting harassed because of the fan base and all this type of stuff. It spirals and all this type of shit. Okay, I get it. But I love RG3's responses there, and I respect Shaquille O'Neal's take in RG3's direction on some like I'm stepping in, cut this shit. And Shaq, of course, also took some personal shots at him as well. He's like, "Nigga, you only gonna be known for your podcast."
Soft by any means.
That ain't true, Shaq. Don't do that. Don't do that to RG3, man. I know RG3. For me, I've always liked quarterbacks that could run. That's always been I like that. You know what I'm saying? The Randall Cunninghams of the world and all that. I go back to those eras. You know what I'm saying? RG3 and that system that they created around him at the time before he's having the knees and the injuries and all that. I loved it. And that when I hear RG3's name, that's what I think. I don't think about his podcast. I never even watched this podcast, to be honest, not a single time. I'll check it out. Or if it crosses us, we're gonna check it out. You know what I'm saying? But listen, shout out to Caitlin Clark. She's a stellar player. Shout out to Angel Reese and everything that she's got going on. The GOAT has spoken. One of the GOATs have spoken. You know what I'm saying? Respect Shaq and RG3. I love your cleanup. I'm gonna leave it neutral. Okay. I'm gonna leave it neutral. That's where I'm gonna go with that one. All right. I'm gonna chill out. All right. You see, easy to block the Philly ball in the thumbnail. We gotta show some battle rap non-controversy over here, people. Like, what y'all think? You think the only time I'm gonna talk about battle rap these days got to be about Averb? I don't want it to be that. So, shout out to Eazy, man. Shout out to Eazy in the trenches over there working, putting the grind in. The trenches presents nostalgia too. Now, I definitely love the theme of the Philly and the whole New York thing when they did it the first time. Wasn't that when it was Ice versus Hollow, right? That was dope shit. That was real dope. So this whole nostalgia series, keeping it going, it builds into the matchups. Shit, y'all know me. Y'all know RBE when it comes to themes. So anytime I see theming, I always pay attention because it's people adding creativity, opposed to just saying, "Hey, I want you to battle you," and just call it something random. You know what I'm saying? But when you theme and when you put certain type of expectations to what, like if you come out and you say Lift His Soul, right, and you understand what RBE delivers when you do Lift His Soul. When you say Max Out, you understand what that's going to be. Or when you say Validation, or when you say Nostalgia, when you say Gnome, or when you say Blackout, right, when you say certain card titles and the fans like, oh, I know what type of card it is, or what type of battle is, or what type of matchups, or what type of theme. Like if I said Starting Five right now, RBE fans would be like, oh, it's going to be a whole judge card. That's dope. You know, you got a theme every once in a while. And shout out to the trenches keeping it creative, man. So quick predictions. This is going down August 10th in New York. Okay, Eazy. Doing it outside of Philly. That's cool too. Was the last one in Philly? If so, the last one had to be in Philly, right? Because that was Nostalgia Part 1 when Hollow was battling Head Ice and the whole fucking room rapped along with Hollow. Is like old school throwback shit. That was dope, but it ain't fair. So If this is being done in New York because the last one was in Philly, that's dope. That's dope too. Even it out. Don't make it an uneven playing field all the fucking time. All right, last one we did over there. Let's come to your world this time. Dope. Dope, dope, dope. So August 10th, go to guttercity.com right now to get your tickets and probably your pay. He probably got his pay-per-view there as well. I will be watching this on pay-per-view on August 10th. Let me not lie. Let me check the calendar right now. August 10th better be a weekend. Easy. I know he ain't doing nothing stupid. It's a Sunday. Okay, we cool with Sundays. Bet. Yeah, we on it. We on this stream. We on this stream. I'm not saying that Trenches is known for doing a fucking event on a Tuesday, but I just didn't want to. I wanted to check it real quick, make sure I'm telling y'all something I ain't really gonna buy. But no, we did August 10th. All right. Head Ice versus Eazy, the block captain. My prediction. Head Ice, you're gonna have to. You're heavy underdog with this one. I'm pretty sure you've seen that in all the blogs, the fan reaction, and that's what Eazy has earned himself. You know, Eazy over the last how many years has rose to become one of the best battle rappers in the world. He just is. It's just the truth. His performances, even his losses, right? Some people got him losing the clips, for example. Many people have him losing a Suge. But when you can have damn near classic performances, even in what some people might consider you are putting on up there, you know, and his wins are epic too. I ain't just focusing on the losses. He's had some epic wins. This is easy to block, Captain B. Head Ice is a fucking legend. We talking all the way back to Lions Den days, okay? But Head Ice, this is one of those show where you at today moments for you, right? In battle rap, you're not able to live on your past. It's a what have you done for me lately sport. I know that. Eazy knows that. Ice knows that. What have you done for me lately? I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do to our battle rappers all the time, but that's the fucking vibe of this environment. Okay. So all that legendary status of Ice and even all those legendary performances of Eazy in the last couple years, what's going to happen on August 10th? Now, because Head Ice is such an underdog in this one, if he walks in there and he clearly takes this victory, it's a resurgence to how you look at Ice. And I've seen that happen before in Ice's career. I've seen him at times have ups and downs with the fans, right? If you have the type of performance that you had, like let's say with Big K, right? The world will stop and say, oh my God, Head Ice is back, or Head Ice was on his shit. That's just how it is, man. What have you done for me lately? When you did your social distance round, the world stopped and said, the battle rap world said, oh my God, look at this. And Ice, you and I both know, my nigga, like that social distance shit dropped and your stock immediately with the fans changed. It was a moment where they was like, oh, give me Ice, give me Ice, give me Ice, right? And then Ice went on and he started booking with more leagues and he's having some good performances. I think by the time he got to the tournament, you know, there's a couple performances that dropped or whatever, and that's how they do Ice. It's like, all right, right back down, they drop his stock, right? But this is one of those, your stock goes to 10 because that's how the fans revere Eazy's ability on the stage, and also with Ice being an underdog. You get in there, you clearly beat Eazy. It's a resurgence to how all today's current new era fans are looking at Head Ice. I got Eazy 2-1 though. I'm put respect on Ice's name. Give him a round, of course. I got Eazy winning this battle. I just think he's doing more up there and more appealing today. And Ice, all those are the type of things that you have to craft your rounds around. You have to look at that. You have to navigate all of that. This is all chess, my nigga, and you know this. This is all chess, not checkers in a matchup like this. So I wish y'all both luck there. I got Eazy 2-1. Shout out to both these guys. All right. Froze versus UMP. So the thing is, UMP also debuted or returned in Nostalgia Part 1, right? And he had a good performance. He did his thing, right? But he's also facing the veteran Rosenberg Raw, right? Rosenberg don't know what he want to do. He don't know if he wants to retire. He don't know if he want. The thing is, I think Froze kind of wants to retire, but you call him and it's just like, you know what? Let me show up. I still got that battle rapper spirit. Let me go ahead and do it. I don't think that Rosenberg Raw by any means though is like treating his battles like that, right? When's the last time Rosenberg don't got no chokes in recent years or nothing like that, right? Everything he's done has been quality, right? Quality to dope or great. So, but P, he showed how dangerous he is. That's the thing. And when you get in there in the type of performance that P did when we last seen him, what comes with that is like a whole nother level of confidence and understanding of your own abilities and navigating that ring, understanding how to play to the fan. You could watch battle rap for years, but until you actually do it and rap in front of these fans back and forth with an opponent, I think that's what elevates you, right? OKC just won a championship. And what are people saying? Some of the top analysts in the world, they're saying the only reason why we predict dynasties is because we expect the top 3 players on the OKC to all continue to get better. We're watching these young guys. We're watching Jaden. We're watching Shea. We're watching Chet. And we expect all 3 of these guys to improve in certain areas. It's like looking at Giannis and saying, like, oh no, your jump shot's going to get a little bit better. Like that makes him that much more dangerous if he's already in there hurting people, you know? And I think that's what Rosenberg Raw has to pay attention to as well for P, because he established like, oh, no. I understand how to do this in today's age. I'm here, right? But I can't vote against a veteran of Rosenberg Raw's caliber. So shout out to P. But you take out a legend, it'd be another notch under the belt. But I got Froze 2-1 and prove me wrong, P. Frozy ain't gonna play on nothing that involves like a PA versus New York and all that. The theme and all that. He's gonna get on his PA shit too. So it's just something that I think Rosenberg is like prideful to battle on. So that ups his danger. Yeah. Bill Collector versus Snake Eyes. To me, as much as I fuck with Snake Eyes, I think this is a clear 2-1 for Bill Collector. Bill Collector is one of the best when it comes to just rap ability as a battle rapper. He's one of the best ever. You know, it's just no discrediting what Bill Collector can do when he starts rapping his rounds. I think a missed opportunity. We got certain battles that are like missed opportunities in battle rap. Thank God Hitman and Mook is not a missed opportunity, right? Daylight and Lux might be a missed opportunity. There's just certain Murder Mook versus Hollow is a missed opportunity. It should have happened at the time that it was being engaged. Now it's like it's not there anymore. It's not the same. JC versus Lux. If it happens still, it's like it's too late. You know, I say that to say Bill Collector versus Daylight could be a missed opportunity. And if that got booked right now, it's still treated like it got booked back then. Right. But to want to see Bill Collector alongside who a lot of people say is the best pen in battle rap, what does that say about Bill Collector? Right. And there have been similarities in their styles at times. You know, Bill Collector has continued to evolve his style, but his talent, he's got the performance, he's a veteran, and what he does pen to pad is just, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Snake Eyes I don't think he can get on the level of a Bill Collector when you talk about that level of writing and what Bill does if he brings his A game. But Snake is a sturdy opponent. He's a formidable opponent. Snake Eyes have never been a walk in the park ever. But if you have an A game or an A plus game, I'll just say if you have an A game Bill Collector, this is a 30. Out of respect for Snake Eyes, I'm gonna say 2-1. But if you have an A game Bill Collector, this is a 30. Okay. My predictions are never disrespect people. Like nobody gets sensitive. All right. I admit these 2 guys I haven't heard of before, but that's the dope thing about the trenches and leagues. Taking dope opportunities that have big names on them and putting up and comers. That's how the up and comers get recognized, right? I was never a big fan of separating the two. Everybody has their different approaches, but it's like you could take a league that says we got our cards with the names on them, but when it's time to work with the up and comers, we have a whole different event for them. And I think there's times to have the up and comer events isolated, yes, but I think a league should always make attempts to put these up and comers right next to the big names. If you look at the top of the flyer and it says Hitman versus Ill Will, and you look at the bottom of the flyer and it says K Venom versus Jay Breed and K Venom gets eyes that they've never gotten before. simply because they're on there with Hitman, Ill Will, Averb, A-Ward, Young Ill, Big K, Calico, Goods, Head Eye, Show Off, QB, RX, XL, Def the Kid. They on there with all these people. So the flyer, the promo, the face-offs, the rollouts, the people in the building, the people on the stream, they all get seen by people that generally wouldn't see them, right? So it's dope that I don't know who these two guys are. So I don't have a prediction, but it's dope. Why is that flyer lined up? Easy. Why you got the flyers out of order, man? Yeah, that's my OCD. Because I forgot I was about to see this one right after the up and comers. I thought the card was done. Reed versus Cord. I like Cord's hat. Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. Put them in order though. Damn, it's like one moment you want to say what Reed is gonna show. Cord is a pretty one of the most consistent, right? He's a very consistent battle rapper. And on the other side, you almost want to say what Reed is gonna show up, right? Like, what's the best Reed since his return? What's the best Reed? What's the best Reed? Is it Reed versus Surf? Right? What's the best Reed? Yeah, his first return, his initial return was tough. That was versus John, right? But he showed like, no. Just let me check this out. Yeah, what Reed are we gonna get? Because when you look at the Reed versus Mook, the Reed versus John, but then there's some dope Reeds, like you say, the Reed versus was the Surf, right? There's been some Reeds on RBE that have been dope. Shit. Yeah. Reed, I gotta edge this to Cord 2-1. I don't know which Reed we gonna get. I don't know what Reed we gonna get. Core has always been a very solid, talented battle rapper. There's times where he goes all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Performance-wise, rounds-wise. Cortez has one of the best third round closers of all time, right? Right there, right in front of Raekwon. That angle will forever be a historic moment in battle rap. He has those capabilities, right? And those are the type of things where you look at Core and you say he wasn't the most noisiest battle rapper as far as like people gravitating and numbers wise and everything. But when you just look into his ability and his talent and some of his classic or epic moments, like you can never ever step in the ring with a Cortez and just think that you got it easy ever. So yeah, I'm gonna go Cord 2-1 on this one. But Reed is capable. He is. That was the toughest pick for me, the Core and the Reed. All right, so overall, there goes the card. Eazy versus Ice, Froze versus P. Oh, this one, I didn't see this flyer. Muwap versus Authentic. Okay. These two up-and-comers, I'm going to see them for the first time. Reed versus Core and Bill versus Snake Eyes. There goes my predictions. Shoot this a like. A little comment, you know what I'm saying? Oh, let me drop this right here. I got Head Ice 4-0. And that's not even what I said here in this prediction, right? I'm just being an asshole. All right. Shout out to Eazy in the trenches. Shout out to all the artists on the card. All right. There goes today's stream. Thank you. You tried it. Says you will like. Let me take a quick look up at the chat. Says I will likely. Okay. All right. I'm glad that there's people that's in here that's familiar with him. So he's on a rise, it seems. Okay. It may be Don, but a lot of people said he beat Chess. Yeah, I think I remember that one too. Yeah. I do not. But I'm pretty sure there's a couple fans around here that probably got the app. Beer Brick got Muwap 2-1. Okay. Don Bean. Why do we keep saying this is the trenches? It's not the same league. Don Bean. Eazy don't got no app. Thank God. Penn, that's just a reputation that, you know, him and the way him and URL has worked out some of those things. It's like a reputation that has hovered over fucking Cortez's head for years. But Cortez has millions of battles online. All right. For me to be fair, like, let's keep it real. Don Bean, I see your feedback here about Core. I think that's why I said what I said towards the end. I think I think he does have some exciting moments too. You know, I'll pull this up here, right? Somebody said Cortez just raps well, not exciting. I think Cor's vocal projection and his energy, if he puts it on 10 and he performs well, and Cor's got a lot of great performances, man. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want Reed and Nitty was fire. You try to say she's rooting for Reed. All right. This one's saying his best might have been versus Nitty. As far as Reed, okay. All right. 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 I see y'all in the chat. All right. Y'all pretty much consistent with my predictions as well in the chat is what I see. All right. Once again, shout out to the trenches. All right, we're done with the stream today, people. We covered all of our topics. What is it? 7:30 stream under an hour and a half. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Appreciate everybody for checking in today. Y'all rock with this hat? I got this while I was away for the weekend. There was it was a new era in the mall when we was out in Cabo, and they had a couple joints that I never seen before, and this was one of them. Looks like it got like fall leaves on the brim or something like that. I never seen that before. And that's why you always got to just check out some of these stores, even if they're chained and you're like, one of those is in my mall. Walk into that bitch, man, because I'm telling you, man, these stores be having different shit, even regionally. Sometimes there's things that's available in this country and not available in that country, and to be the same store still, you know? So, yeah, this is one I never seen before, but, you know, I grabbed it. Let me know in the chat if y'all rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, once again, thank you, Murat. I'm saying, Major, my bad. I said Morant for some reason. I don't know why John Morant was on my mind for whatever reason. But thank you, Major. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sniper. But yeah, that's today's stream, people. Let me know in the comments below, not here in the chat because the live chat is about to be over. Let me know in the comments of the video if there's topics that you felt battle rap wise you really wanted me to cover. And I'm not talking about controversial ones. I see some of the stuff that's going on out there. I left today's controversy alone, obviously. I left dude out of my thumb. I was like, I'm cool. I seen that stuff yesterday. I was like, I'm all right. Right? I'm all right. But battle rap wise, I was just having this conversation yesterday. And I was explaining to Wing that I want to continue to cater to the subscription base that's on the battle rap side of this channel as well. I could never just forget there's 10 years of subscribers here from RBE. This is a very sorry it's true podcast laden channel, obviously for like the last year and a half, right? This is my migration. But I want to be able to bring you guys along in that journey and give you guys topics that made you guys be involved in this channel 10 years ago. And that's battle rap, right? The priority is the sorry is true, period. You know what I'm saying? That's the priority. But I also got some battles coming for y'all too. So shout out to the members. You guys are going to get some exclusive battle drops. I sponsored my first battle, right? And it's only right that I sponsored it on Wing's platform. Shout out to Wing. Shout out to Qua. Shout out to EJ over there. And everybody's a part of that movement. They got their movement going on called Bread, BRED. Don't ever try to give me credit for it. It's not Rare Breed Entertainment. It's not a child of Rare Breed Entertainment. Business wise, don't do the whole like Hitman and ARP are partners and they got this business together. Don't do that with none of that. That's all false. So we already broke that down, right? And don't start doing that with Wing, right? Wing got her own movement. You know what I'm saying? She chilled out for a couple months, took off, and she popped out and she ran a couple events, and now she's even starting to step her game up. And I put it out there like a year ago, like when it comes to battle rap, I want to sponsor battles here and there, right? I'm down to sponsor some shit on Bags and Bodies. I never have yet, but I would definitely sponsor a battle on Bags and Bodies. I would definitely sponsor a battle on the Trenches. and so forth and so on. Like, I don't want to try to, because I'll leave people out and then they'll be like, oh, you don't fuck with me. No, there's mad platforms out there I'd be down to sponsor battles on. But my first battle that I'm finally sponsoring is on Wing Shit. And it's only right because she comes from a battle rap league standpoint. She comes from RBE. So I think it's dope that my first one is over there with her. But the battle that I'm sponsoring is going to drop exclusively here on the RBE channel. Right. So I got that coming up. I'm talking behind the scenes with a bunch of people about the next Full Circle. And I shit you not, if I pull off, definitely before the year's over, if I pull off the card that's in my mind, when the flyer drops, y'all gonna look at it like, y'all gonna probably look at it like, oh, RBE's back. And I'm gonna remind y'all like, no, this is Full Circle. This ain't no pay-per-view. This ain't no event. This ain't that. I'm good. There is no Max Out 4 coming. I know that everybody keeps the hope alive and keeps motivating me, and that shit humbles the fuck out of me. But when you guys see a Full Circle card dropping, if it looks like, yo, these matches could have just been like, why is this not pay-per-view? Like, don't try to press me. Don't try to create false narratives saying that RBE is back. No, it's Full Circle. But I got some shit that I might start working on. I mean, when I say working on, I mean I might just start contracting it and putting a date to it, because I'm having a bunch of conversations about some dope matches. But definitely what's locked in, of course, is the joint that I just sponsored with Wing. So I got some battles on the way. I got some more battle rap topics on the way, of course. But everything else should remain as is. Sorry, it's true. So said that. I'll see y'all 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, y'all. Enjoy y'all day.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of and shout out to the members.
Without my thing, still got a gun.